morning, everyone, and welcome to the morning news on AUTV. Today is 10th March 2026, same in the Ghana month. I am Samira Franklin, coming up with the headlines. Government disburses 2.6 billion to settle health insurance debt health providers. Cabinet approves new round of SIM registration exercise. Ejura MP donates 7 motorbikes to help school supervisors to visit more schools. Pastor arrested in Cape Coast for child sexual abuse and production of indecent materials. Aspiring journalist loses sight after acid bath by a stranger girlfriend. News in details. The Minister of Health, Kwabena Akando, says the government has paid 2.6 billion Ghana cedis to the National Health Insurance Scheme in 2025 to clear outstanding claims and debts owed to health service providers. Addressing Parliament, the minister explained that the payment was aimed at settling arrears accumulated from previous years and restoring confidence among healthcare providers who rely on the scheme for reimbursement. According to him, the government has also fully disbursed 1.5 billion Ghana cedis to the Ghana Medical Trust Fund, popularly known as Mahamake, as part of effort to strengthen healthcare delivery across the country. Government has paid a total bill of 2.6 billion to the National Health Insurance Scheme this year to clear claims and debts owed to service providers, Mr. Akando told to the House. The Health Minister disclosed while responding to questions from the Minority Leader Alexander Afenyo-Markin during proceedings on the floor of Parliament. Mr. Akandon said the move forms part of a broader effort by the current administration to stabilize the health insurance and ensure that hospital, clinics, and healthcare facilities receive timely reimbursement for service rendered to ensure patients. He also criticized that he described as the persistent build-up of health insurance arrears under the previous administration, noting that although 5.68 billion Ghana cedis was paid in claims between 2020 and 2023, debts continue to accumulate within the system. The minister urged that the current payments are intended to address those structural challenges while improving the financial sustainability of the scheme. The health insurance established to provide affordable health care for Ghanaians has faced recurring concerns over delayed reimbursement for service providers, which health experts say can affect the quality and accessibility of medical services. Government officials say the latest disbursements are part of ongoing reforms aimed at strengthening the scheme and improving the overall delivery of healthcare services in the country. The Communication Minister, Samira George, has revealed that the Cabinet has approved a completely new SIM registration exercise following what he described as an extensive review of the previous process. According to the minister, the earlier exercise faced several challenges, including weak biometric enforcement, data inconsistency, and access to registration fraud. He disclosed this during high-level talks with the Ghana Chamber of Telecommunications and National Communication Authority. The meeting discussed the planned new national SIM registration exercise and roadmap for the rollout of 5 gig in Ghana. Mr. George stressed that the new approach will not be a continuation of the previous system, but a complete reset aimed at restoring credibility and strengthening security in the process. Details and outcomes of new SIM registration. During the meeting, the minister outlined key elements and expected outcomes of new SIM registration exercise. He disclosed that the National Communication Authority will serve as the central repository of system registration data. Biometric verification will also be mandatory under the new framework. A central equipment identity register will be introduced to enable cross-network blocking of stolen or fraudulent devices, the minister added. He further revealed that a revised legislative instrument is being prepared to regulate the exercise. Telecom operators who participated in the meeting welcomed the initiative but raised some operational concerns. However, it's not yet clear when the new registration exercise will commence on who will bear the cost of implementing it. The planned exercise will mark the second nationwide SIM registration drive after a similar exercise in 2021, which the current administration says was plagued us by several challenges. Government's 5G policy and new spectrum auction on 5G deployment. The minister disclosed that Cabinet has approved the removal of exclusivity clause under the previous wholesale 5 GB framework. This decision clears the way of a new competitive spectrum auction process. Mr. George clarified that the wholesale model has not been cancelled. Instead, the revised framework will enable a network-based rollout to ensure universal deployment across operators. Among the key highlights in the new 5G spectrum auctions, which is expected to be concluded soon. In a move to plot systematic revenue leakages and tightening border security, the Minister of Finance, Dr. Kessel Atufosen, has ordered an immediate ban on the land transit for 9 essential product categories, effectively compelling these imports to be routed exclusively through Ghana seaports. The directive issued following an emergency consultation with the Acting Commissioner of Customs, Dr. Aaron Akano, and the leadership of the Customs Divisions of the Ghana Revenue Authority, marks a significant shift in the nation's traders and borders management strategy. Effective immediately, the following commodities will no longer be permitted to the transit via Ghana's land borders: food staples, rice, sugar, flour, cooking oil, pasta or spaghetti, and canned tomatoes, consumer and health goods, frozen products, textiles, and pharmaceutical products. It follows the ban on land transit of commercial quantities of cooking oil through Ghana borders in February after a visit by the Finance Ministry official to land borders in the Ketu South Municipality and the Ketu North District. According to Dr. Forsen, his mandatory transition to seaport entry is designed to eliminate the vulnerabilities inherent in land-based transit and ensure that all duties and taxes are fully accounted for the major port of entry. Alongside the transit ban, the Finance Minister has ordered the re-centralization of the Customs Technical Service Bureau by creating a one-step shop for valuation and move aimed to streamline customs operation and enhance the accuracy of cargo assessments. This administrative overhaul will be bolstered by improved intelligence sharing protocol, leverages to identify high-risk shipments and prevent tax evasion. These measures are intended to strengthen border controls, closure revenue leakages, and safeguard government revenue. Dr. Atoforson stated on Monday, March 9 following the meeting. The ministry has issued a clear mandate to all relevant departments within the GRA to enforce this directive without expectations. The crackdown reflects the government's broader strategy to stabilize the national fiscal position by ensuring the trade-related revenue is captured efficiently and transparently. The implementation of these measures is expected to reshape import logistics in the coming days as clearing agents and transport operations adjust to the new requirement that these high volumes must now pass through the national import infrastructure. The Member of Parliament for Edra Sekedumase, Mahamudu Bawa Brima, has noted 7 new apostolic motorbikes to circuit supervisors in the municipality to help them visit schools more easily and improve supervision. The motorbikes were presented during the 69th Independence Day celebration in Sekedumase of the Ashanti region. Before the donation, many circuit supervisors did not have reliable transport to move from school to schools. This made it hard for them to monitor teaching, checks on school facilities, and support teachers and students properly. Some supervisors had to pay for transport with their own money just to reach distant schools. At the ceremony, Mr. Brahima said the motorbikes are meant to help supervisors to do their work more effectively and reach schools in all parts of the municipality. These motorbikes are given to you so that you can do your duties well. Take good care of them and make sure they are used for school supervision, the MP said during the handing over. The Municipal Director of Education, Haruna Akwesi Frimpong, described the donation as a major relief for the education service. He said supervisors previously struggled to visit schools because of a lack transport and sometimes spend their own funds to carry out official duties. Mr. Frimpong said the motorbikes will make it easier for supervisors to monitor teacher attendance, teaching quality, the school performance across the municipality. This donation comes as a relief to us. We will make good use of the motorbikes, but we also need support to fuel them so that supervisors can visit school regularly without delay, Mr. Frimpong said. Education officials and community leaders at the events welcomed the MP's gesture, saying it will help improve oversight in schools and boost the quality of education. They noted that regular supervision can help identify problems early, support teachers, and ensure that children receive a better education. Taking supervisors also expressed their gratitude and pledge to maintain the bikes and use them only for the official school's duties. They said access to transport will help them visit more schools, especially those in remote and hard-to-reach areas. The motorbikes donation is seen as a step down towards strengthening the supervision system in the Edra Sekedumase municipality, helping to improve learning outcomes and ensure that school operates effectively. Chairman of the Information and Communication Committee, Abendego Bandim Azuma, has called on colleague members of Parliament to properly scrutinize a new data protection bill to be brought before the House to prescribe tougher punishments for personal data compromise. He told journalists in Parliament that part of the proposed reforms in the new law will tackle the misuse of artificial intelligence to harvest personal information on platforms like TikTok, WhatsApp, and the others.
Earlier on, you asked whether they were empowered to prefer punitive measures against people who violate data protection laws. I think no. If you look at the law passed in 2012, it has not given them the teeth to bite when there are failures, when there are violations. And we think that the bill that is coming, Parliament will have to scrutinize it very well and ensure that it empowers data protection to be able to bite against those who violate the law. Because these people or military nationals that are involved in all collecting this data and developing AI and all of that are international organizations. Do they comply with our laws? I mean, I am very skeptical about it. Many of the data that they collect are sitting outside of our jurisdiction. And you will realize that even now, in the war against Iran, there are data centers targeted. And imagine that these multinationals, like Google, for example, like Facebook, like X, like TikTok, have the data of our nationals sitting elsewhere outside the country. How do we ensure that it is protected? How do we ensure that they don't misuse that data? You understand? If I highlighted an example where in Zimbabwe, the U.S. government...
Our credits to 3 News. On the same issue, Executive Director of the Data Protection Commission, Dr. Arnold Kamvapo, has cautioned Ghanaians against the unlawful spread of data that could have future implications in the face of raising global data threats. He says circulation of sensitivity and personal information without consistent exposes individuals to security, identity, and fraud risk. He told data collectors to adhere to provision in the Data Protection Article 2012, Article 843, and use data for their intended purposes.
With the rise of digital channels such as social media and also even some of the our digital footprint we leave behind, it's become even more important for us to protect our personal data. We have to be cautious about what we put out there. We have to be cautious about who we put out, because basically anything you put out today, once it goes out, it becomes very difficult for you to be able to get it out. And so it's really important for us to be guided. But we're also calling especially for data controllers, because it's a two-way street. There is the data subjects who sometimes don't know what their rights are and what their responsibilities are, may not have adequate information. But it's also a responsibility of those that collect this information to make sure that, one, the Data Protection Act requires that they register with the Data Protection Commission to be able to process personal data, to be able to collect and process personal information. And secondly, when they want to change the processing.
From that point, he allegedly subjected the minor to repeated sexual abuse over an extended period. The suspect repeatedly subjected the survivor to sexual abuse and recorded video of the act on his mobile phone. COP Donko said, in some instances, he forced the survivor to upload materials displayed on adult pornographic website, and states on the camera she was accessible on that platform with apparent intent to distribute such content online. The abuse was uncovered when the survivor confided in her schoolmistress. A complaint was subsequently filed with the Domestic Violence and Victim Support Unit in Cape Coast, and former case was referred to the Cape Coast Circuit Court. During the arrest, authorities recovered various items from the suspect's homes, now undergoing forensic analysis. These include an HP laptop, 3 external hard drives, 5 pen drives in a mobile phone, a tablet, electronic vibrators, assorted contraceptive, lubricant, and used pregnancy test, and 2 ladies' panties. With the technical assistance of the Cybersecurity Authority, forensic investigators found evidence of child sexual abuse material Productions and discovered 3 private pornographic website accounts on the suspect digital devices. The suspect was previously charged with defamation of a female child under 16 and child pornography offense. Upon his rearrest on March 8, 2026, he faced a new charge of possessing an indecent image on pornographic of a child under Section 62 and 63 of the Cybersecurity Act 2020, Article 1038. He has been remanded in custody and is scheduled to reappear in court on March 27, 2026. Theo Pidonko emphasized that the arrest reflects Ghana's ongoing committee to child protection, particularly in the online environment. This case underscores the commitment made at the highest levels of our institution, the Ghana Police Service, the Cyber Security Authority, and the National Security, to ensure that every child is safe and protected online, she said.
The joint arrest of a suspect pastor for defilement, production, and possession of child sexual abuse materials in Waraba, Cape Coast. The Ghana Police Service, in collaboration with the Cyber Security Authority and the National Security, has arrested a suspect pastor for offenses involving a minor, including defilement and the production and possession of child sexual abuse materials. The arrest took place in the early hours of March 6, 2026 in Cape Coast Central Region during a joint intelligence-led operation. The suspect, Ebenezer Kondia, aged 45, is the lead pastor at Mahanen Christian Center in Ankafo, Cape Coast. He was apprehended in Waraba, a suburb of Iguasi in Cape Coast. The suspect is also known to operate a Facebook profile under the name Reverend Dr. Kondia, where he portrays himself as a trained gynecologist and international marriage counselor. Investigations revealed that in August 2021, the suspect welcomed the survivor, then a 13-year-old junior high school student, into his home under the guise of providing spiritual counseling and behavioral correction. From that point, the suspect repeatedly subjected the survivor to sexual abuse over an extended period. He also recorded videos of the abuse on his mobile phone. In some instances, he forced the survivor to hold up materials displaying an adult pornographic website and to state on camera that she was accessible on that platform with apparent intent to distribute such content online. The abuse came to light when the survivor confided in her school headmistress. A complaint was filed with the Domestic Violence and Victim Support Unit (DOVSU) in Cape Coast, and the case was formally referred to the Circuit Court in Cape Coast. Upon arrest, various items were recovered from the suspect's home and are now under forensic analysis. The items recovered include 1 HP laptop, 3 external hard drives, 5 pen drives, 1 Android mobile phone, 1 tablet, 2 electronic vibrators with accessories, assorted contraceptives used and unused, lubricants, a used pregnancy test kit, and 2 ladies' panties.
Derek Ofosujan, a 27-year-old aspiring journalist, is fighting to regain his vision after a brutal accident attack allegedly carried out by his girlfriend. After completing senior high school, Derek pursued a short journalism course and later secured a contract to replace ECG meters across the country. His promising future took a tragic turn in 2021. A female friend from Nsawam visited him in Sogakope, Volta region, and spent the night. That evening, Derek discovered messages suggesting she was romantically involved with other men. Hurt by the revelation, he blocked her own social media and ended their communication. A month later, while preparing from work at dawn, Derek stepped outside to bath. There, he was confronted by the same woman, who allegedly dosed him with accident Neighbors raised the alarm and went with help for the local assemblyman. She was arrested while attempting to flee. Derek later learned she had been sentenced to 5 years in prison, though neither he nor his family attended the trial. Since the attack, Derek has undergone 3 surgeries to treat several bruises on his face, chest, hands, and legs. Once energetic and full ambition, he is now completely blind and depends on his mother, Auntie Lydia, for mobility. Derek and his mother. Despite his ordeal, Derek remains determined to pursue his dream of becoming a journalist. He is appealing to Ghanaians for financial support to undergo surgery in India that could restore his sight. Auntie Lydia expressed disappointment in the way the culprit family handled the matter, saying they show little concern. She believed justice without financial support for her son's recovery incomplete. She is calling on to the public to show compassion and help Derek rebuild his life. Here comes the end of the morning news. Headline recaps. Government disburses 2.6 billion Ghana cedis to settle national insurance debts to health providers. Cabinet approves a new form of SIM registration exercise. Ejura MP donates 7 motorbikes to help schools supervise 3 small schools. Pastor arrested in Cape Coast for child sexual abuse and production of indecent materials. Aspiring journalist loses sight after acid bath by estranged girlfriend. I am Samira Franklin. Up next, sports segments. Good morning.